Welcome to Lime for Local and Talented. I am Kareem Nelson Hall, the Manager for Marketing and Corporate Communications here at Lime, and we are very, very happy to have all of you here this morning. It's a very brief ceremony, but nonetheless, we are excited to be here to celebrate the announcement of our next Lime for Local and Talented. Members of the press will recall that we haven't been here for a while, but we are back and we don't foresee any interruptions for the next few months as we announce the next few winners of this award. Let me make apologies for the General Manager of Lime, Sean Agis, who is unable to be here this morning. He had been called away to a meeting that he cannot avoid, but in his place, the head of Department for Business Sales, Mr. Ken Geese, will give the remarks on behalf of the General Manager. At this time, we want to welcome all of you once more, and we welcome Mr. Ken Geese to give those remarks. Ken?
Members of the press and family members of Gordon and friends. On behalf of Lime BVI, it gives me great pleasure to be standing here this morning to present our latest Lime for Local and Talented, the cake artist Gorvie Anderson Henry. Gorvie received most of his formal training here in the BVI at the H. Laverty Stout Community College at the time when the New England Culinary Institute was in operation in Tortola. He is not just a baker, he is an artist who, using fondant, sugar and icing to create edible masterpieces that come to your mind. He attended the world-renowned and prestigious Culinary Institute of America, where he graduated as one of the top in his class. The BVI Welcome magazine named him the BVI Cake Boss, and we are inclined to agree with that. But he is not only in demand in the BVI. In fact, when we were about to present him the previous award, he had to postpone the event because he had to attend a discerning bride who needed him in Nevis, and so have brides from around the areas such as the Cayman Islands and Turks and also Tennessee. He takes his business seriously and has introduced a different level of respect for the art of cake baking in the territory. When you decide to have Gorvie Henry bake you a cake for any event, that cake is a result of at least 2 weeks prior notice, a consultation, and a one-of-a-kind design that he sketches and presents to you for your approval. So those of you that have not experienced the Gorvie Henry cake, I'm sure it won't be too long before you do. At this point, I'd like to hand it back to our marketing manager at Lime, Kareem Nelson Hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Now, so some of the past people who've won Lime for Local and Talented, I have known them like scarcely, but Gorvie I know very, very well. Gorvie's my friend. We were actually born 3 days apart, October 13 and 16. So as a matter of disclaimer, yes, Lime for Local and Talented selection today is actually my friend, but it's not my fault that my friends are talented. All right? At this time, I want to welcome my friend of 30 years, Mr. Gorvie Anderson Henry, to make his presentation. Gorvie.
This is quite different for me, as I'm accustomed of always being in the background, never an agenda item. So I would like to thank Mr. Kareem Nelson Hall for allowing me to be here, and also Ken Geese. I am truly humbled and appreciative to have been selected as an honoree for the Lime and Talented campaign, as a great initiative on Lime's part to hide talents across the territory in all disciplines. And to also be alive today to accept this honor, as too many times we are recognized only when we are long gone. So this is a great honor to be alive, to know that my work is being honored. Can you imagine, I never wanted to be a cake artist. I never wanted to do cake. But, you know, life has a way of throwing things at you, and they place you exactly where you need to be. It all started in 2009 by a simple request from a friend, Kimberly Crabb Adams, when she wanted me to do her cake. At first I was a little reluctant, but I said, I'm gonna do it. And I sat in my apartment in Poughkeepsie in New York, and I made my flowers. I made the flowers it was about 300 roses and leaves, and I shipped them down. And when I came, I had a team of friends who was there with me to help me dust and was not seen. It was my first cake. It was the longest 36 hours of my life. But God bless, I have grown from that, and I have better organizational skills, and that's why I can produce 3 different types of cakes today within a matter of a week. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my background cheerleaders, you, who are always there for me, who always, with your cheers of encouragement and support, have driven me to push this hard. My grandmother, the late Ruth Malone, she always knew I was going to be a chef. I know she's somewhere up in heaven smiling saying, Gowie, you know you do good. But last but not least, my mother, Juliet Penn, my rock. Without you, there is no me. You didn't only put me through college. You believed in what I believed in. My dreams became your dreams. My struggles became your struggles. And for that, I love you. Thank you very much. I can speak about everyone in this room and how you impacted my life in some form, shape, or fashion. But I'm a very short-winded person, not because I'm short, but I like to keep things to the point. So with that, I say thank you so much. I am truly, truly grateful that you all came here to share with me this honor. And thank you again. Thanks.
Thank you, Garvey. Among the many things that Lime for Local and Talented winners get, they also are presented with a check for $500. We welcome Mr. Kendies to make that presentation to Garvey at this time. Congratulations again, Garvey. All right, this is a press conference, so this time we're going to open the floor for questions from the press. As per usual, each press member is going to identify the press house that they represent.
This one is to you, Zan Lewis, ZBV Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Zan.
From the last time you had the local talent, I think it would have been a few months ago. What month was that?
Correct, it was in November, the month before November, October.
So what happened to December and January?
All right, well, the persons that were previously selected are not going to be forgotten. They're just going to be shifted into other months. What actually happened is our general manager is normally very adamant about being here, and because of requirements with the business unit, he had to travel across the region, so therefore we had to postpone a few of them. And then some of the people that were chosen are actually in college, so if we don't synchronize with their schedule very well, then we were faced with the challenge of having it here. But we're not going to forget them. We're going to move them into other months. And then it's also going to allow us the chance that we didn't fill all the 12 months, so it's not what we're going to have to forget anyone to fill the entire schedule.
But you went ahead with it in his absence today.
We did, and that was unfortunate because he's actually on island, right? He's actually on island. He was prepared to be here, but he said not to let the show stop for this one, so we decided to go ahead.
Garvey, this is you. Lime, you feel honored as a result of what happened today. You're grateful You told us what happened, how you got to where you are today. What line is going to get from you?
Well, I think they will be able to get a cake from me within a shorter time, or I'll always but they won't have as much blackout dates as a regular client.
Garvey, Malika McPherson from the Adamson newspaper. I'm looking at the 3 displayed cakes there, and I've noted the uniqueness of it, and I did see the photo of Kimberly's cake. June is coming up, and June is the month of brides. You will be getting a lot more requests, and consider what was said about the unique sketches and all of that. Do you sometimes think that your creative preparation might put you at a disadvantage? Or are you confident that now, considering your new time management structure and all of that, you're ready for June and you're ready for all the attention that this lovely display and the photos that are going to be going out there is going to bring you?
Yes, I am confident that I'm more able to handle the capacity of the month of June. With the addition of moving into a new space and hiring extra hands, I'll be certainly ready for that and years to come.
So you've already you've hired new hands already? You've already moved?
No, not yet. I'm still in the process of moving, so I'm still taking interviews and everything.
Ron Henry with Virgin Islands Youth Online. How do you see this honor being used by you specifically to motivate others to step up to the plate and use their talents and come to the fore like you have in the community?
I would think take risks and don't be shy about it, because this was a risk that I took in doing my cake artistry, and I hope this could be a positive motivation that, not because it's new, it's gonna fail, and just keep striving. I'm not sure if I answered the question right, but
Sean Rose, JTV News. Thank you, Henry. For any member of the Lime team, a question in relation to your decision to select Mr. Henry. How did you arrive at selecting this wonderful cake artist, and how or what influenced you to make that decision?
When Lime for Local and Talented started, we created an information pool of all the possibilities that we could highlight. We were very cognizant that we didn't want to choose what would be normally thought as a Lime for Local or Talented, which is maybe a traditional singer or maybe a dancer, the arts that are always highlighted. So you can see the first one was a model on traditional, the second one was actually a fashion designer and also being a male. The third one, when we chose Garvey Henry, we realized that not only was he someone who is leading the way in his profession, he's also garnered the attention of people across the region and across the world, for a matter of fact. And we think that was a no-brainer when it came to choosing him as Lime for Local and Talented. I look in the audience today, and there are other people who are cake artists in this room as well. And as he speaks, and as I speak, they're nodding their head in agreement, because they know that Garvey's talent is something akin to what they do, but he's taking it to a new level. And when we see that, we decide that that is definitely something that we consider to be local and talented, because as you can buy cakes from anywhere in the world, in the Virgin Islands, and we have great cake artists as well. At this level, this proficiency, we think it was a no-brainer that he could be highlighted in this format. Are there any questions? Debbie?
Horace Mills here from BVI News. Considering the general economy, how well do you think your business will do? Right? And then specifically in the area of that you are in, do you think you will survive for long?
yes, I think I will survive for long. Because once there are weddings and they're celebrating birthdays, and they want something to symbolize their life, they will come to something extraordinary. Because what I do isn't just cake, it's an experience. And you want to have an experience when you have an event. All right?
The first part of the question regarding the economy, how well do you think it is? And do you think the authorities are doing enough to help people like you?
Well, I'm going to be honestly frank with that. Yes, there's some people who have hardships, but people are still doing things. And my cakes, they might be a bit out of some people's budget, but with budgets, anything is attainable.
As a follow-up to that, when is the best time of the year for you making money in cakes?
All year.
So there's no special time. You make money all right. So you're doing good as a businessman.
I'm doing great.
As Lime would have awarded persons in artistry, they would have awarded singers who could promote Lime in song. Persons could, models could promote Lime in dress. How are you going to promote Lime in what you're doing in making cakes?
In their colors.
In the colors? So how we to know? So is there, could I look at those 3 cakes and say Lime is represented there?
Not all 3, but the middle one, I think. Do you have a swatch? Yes, come we stand up. The chromo colors, we have the turquoise kind of blue, and then for the purple is purple for the flower. So not all the colors are represented, but lime is in there.
Corey, let's talk a little more about cakes.
Okay.
You do the fondant design, that's your specialty. And I'm looking, I see that this rose there, it looks a little, it's reminiscent of fall. Then we have the pearl with the grand flower, and then there's the gold. These are some of the things that drive women, wild, especially brides. We want that uniqueness. Where do you get the inspiration from?
I get inspiration from going through bridal magazines, fashion magazines, and stalking the net. Any cake artist, I like to see what they're doing, see what's happening new. And I read a lot. I'm always on Amazon ordering some new book, seeing what new trend is up there. And just anything around me inspires me. Just like in here is inspiration. I can see something modern because of how the columns are so straight. So that would draw my inspiration from anything.
That brings me to my second follow-up question. The cupcake, that's now becoming a new trend, and they're trying to incorporate a lot of what you're doing there, with making these giant cupcakes and trying to take a twist. Are we going to be seeing that soon, heading into the month of brides? And also, Lime is going to get a cake, as you said. The other corporate entities are not going to sit by and let Lime bask in their glory with their cake just because they had Gorvy there. So what are you going to be offering them?
The first question, at Garvey Henry Cakes, I don't do cupcakes. We only do specialty cakes. For the second question, I am open to all orders. It's a business. So if they come and they're willing, they want something, we're willing to pay, it's a business. I have to look at my bottom line.
One question for you, Mr. Henry, and then I'll move to a member of the Lime team. Could you tell me how does this award recognition assist you as a small entrepreneur, and how do you see this helping to encourage other small entrepreneurs in the territory?
I see it helping me as an entrepreneur because it highlights my talents, and it puts it out there that we have this kind of talent pool within the Virgin Islands. And it's not just someone that you have to bring in. We have this here. And for other entrepreneurs, you can see that, you start from the bottom and you work your way up. And once you keep at it, the sky's the limit. So don't get discouraged, don't falter, just keep going and your reward will come.
Member of the Lime team, talk to us about the next awardee and what can we look forward to? How soon can we see someone else stepping up and receiving an award from you?
Our general schedule is to do the first Wednesday of every month for Lime for Local and Talented. The next person, of course, is only announced a few days before. When you actually get the invitation, that's when people know. The next person hasn't been selected. We're still in deliberations for that person. As I said, we have a list of people that we are considering, but we don't make anything to final, and anything is not final as yet. So there's always room for change, and you're also going to see in this coming year we're going to actually start making those nominations public. So while we have started to select people so we can give you an idea of the type of people that you can have, we're also going to let the BVI public start choosing in a few months. Garvey.
Yes, Mr. Henry. There have been complaints that a number of youngsters are not interested in areas like you and are not even willing to go overseas, for example, and study as you did. Is that a concern that you also share?
Yes and no. Yes, it's a concern because it's unfortunate that they think that this is it here in the Virgin Islands. Sometimes we need to look past the sand and the sea and see what else is out there. Go, explore, and come back and bring and build that. No, as in sometimes it works for some people. They find their passion right here and they don't need the outside influence to elevate themselves. So that was that.
And some people would say a lot of people would go into medicine, law, and so on. Do you share that concern that too many people are going into those areas and aren't willing to try, for example, what you're doing?
Not particularly, because we don't want to saturate the island with the same thing, and maybe that's a problem within that profession, that there's a lot of lawyers and there are different avenues within the lawyer field that they're only going into the corporate field and they should go more into the litigation and other stuff. So
hopefully this will be the last one. The Ministry of Education will open a new technical school very soon, and hopefully they'll one day teach in areas that, for example, you are in. Do you support such an initiative?
yes, I do support the initiative because that will help me in my current job also, because I am a culinary instructor at the HLCC college. And if they can do that in the vocational school and then they want to pursue something, they come into the college with some prior knowledge. So I'm not starting from scratch when I'm teaching them.
If there are no more questions from the press, let me just say I appreciate all your questions. You've been very active and aggressive today. They normally ask a lot of questions, but Garvey, they really like you, actually. They really like you because they're very interested in your information. We want to thank you guys for spending your time with us this time of the morning to celebrate Garvey's announcement as a Lime for Local and Talented. Garvey, thank you for allowing us to highlight you in this way. We want to encourage the BVI community and the business community to rally around him. When you want cakes, you have a plethora of cake artists to choose from in the Virgin Islands. He is just one of them that we have chosen to highlight today. And from what I know of Garvey's cakes, everything that we're seeing here is edible. So you could eat all the way down to the bowl and the entire flour. Everything is made of sugar. He doesn't use artificial things. On behalf of Lime, we thank you for coming here with us today for Lime for Local and Talented.